Bendy in the Cage has a brand new Steam page full with a whole bunch of different brand new gameplay images. So without further ado, let's go read the description, find out a lot more about this game, and analyze all the images. So today, Bendy actually posted on the Twitter this, saying the horrors of the pit are forming. Add Bendy in the Cage to your Steam wishlist now, and this is hashtag Bendy, saying add to your wishlist on Steam with of course a link. And this is it. But of course, Steam page is not the biggest part of, well, it is of course the biggest part of it, but the thing we should all focus on is the date. We finally actually got a date, which is pretty close, being 2024. This year, we got Little Nightmares, we got Poppy Playtime, most likely some, FNAF games. We have, what other game? Dark Deception. And now Bendy, 2024 is definitely the year of indie horror, and you cannot say it's not. As you guys can see, it says here, let's go actually read the description. Bendy, the Cage, is a fearful story of Henry and his escape from the Keeper's prison, known as the Pit. The darkest souls have been banished to this deep hellscape of metal and blood. Survive will require you to fight the madness before it devours you whole. It has some recommendation, minimal stuff. You guys can definitely go read that if you want. But this is absolutely crazy. So yes, they're actually releasing in 2024. If I have to say some type of bets or theories of when it's coming out, I definitely want to say it's probably going to be at the end of the year, late 2024, since they only started developing it, a few months ago, maybe 4 or 5 at the max. And since they already have these images, which looks of course great, they did announce that this is going to be not a fully fledged game, but they say that it's not going to be a small spin-off like Boris, but it's also not going to be a fully fledged game like Bendy in the Dark Revival. It's just going to be in the middle. It's going to probably be like a 1 to 2 hour experience, but it's going to be a good 1 to 2 hour high quality experience, which is of course canon to the universe. So the very first image we should look at is actually one that came out a while ago, being this one showing a brand new inky creature, the homes of red, mixed in with it. It definitely looks like he's in a sewer system. We can see that Henry's holding the axe. Like we said, Super Horror Bro got this image early a while ago, so it's not too much to analyze about it now, but it's of course pretty interesting since it's a brand new ink monster. He looks like his skull is showing. He has his nose there. Well, no nose actually. And he has this weird looking metal contraption on top of his head, locking it in. So yes, it of course is pretty interesting, but this is one of the many new enemy types that we'll probably be seeing in this game. And you guys can see it definitely looks like Bendy the Dark Revival, but the art style and the map and everything just looks a lot more higher quality. And this game will probably maybe be the best Bendy game because it's gonna be really, good at horror. It'll be the high quality. Who knows about the story, but I am really interested in this. The next image is of course something new we should definitely go and talk about now. As you guys can see, Henry's actually holding a different weapon. It looks like a pipe or a different version of a jet pipe. And you can also see the exact same enemy that we saw before, just there. The red looks like it's toned down and it's not too bright as we've seen before. And you can also see there that he's holding some type of saw machine. That's, of course, his weapon. It looks like every other ink monster have a variety of different randomly generated weapons, which looks really interesting. And right now, it looks like we're in some type of prison cell hold area, where there's different bars and different gates and areas. And this might be just the intersection where you go between different prison cells, where, bad from intensely bad villains go, or bad characters. So it looks like us Henry just broke out because we do not have the axe, but we had just a random pipe. So maybe this is when someone broke us out, or we just decided to break out because we had enough. And of course, this looks like we're just walking around, gonna start slamming these enemies in, and it just looks really good. I gotta say, the graphics, like I said, it's just amazing. I really do love it. I love the way the lights is bleeding in from the ceiling. Don't know where the light's even coming from, but it looks amazing. The next image here is of course another one with him holding an axe. So maybe you'll be able to switch between weapons, or maybe overall when the game plays on, you get different weapons as time goes on. But this one shows us some type of city gate. This could be two different things, aka a city underground, or this could be the prison's main office. This could be where all the people are in the prison, where the controls of the prison are. Maybe this is the final boss level type thing. You have to infiltrate this with the enemy just to take hold of the prison to release every one of the enemies, so you could go and help Audrey out. Because remember guys, Bendy in the Cage takes place at the exact same time that Audrey's having her adventure after she met Henry to actually he escaped the pit. Yeah, as you guys can see, the ceiling looks like it's riddled with different pipes, maybe because different ink pipes is flowing ink everywhere. But like I said, you can see some type of barbed wire looking on the bottom. It definitely looks like this is the prison's warehouse, or the prison's main office. You can see the lights in the prison, and this is maybe the beginning of the game when he just broke out of there, or this could be around the end when he has the prison, or middle getting some more equipment. Who knows? Maybe he just left and this is a photo of him leaving every place destroyed because there's like no one guarding the place. But who knows? This image still looks great. Now this image, maybe a little bit simple, but of course is the most intense out of them all. It's Sammy Lawrence, which of course we already know that Sammy Lawrence was in the pit because we saw him as the experiment there. But as you guys can see, Sammy Lawrence is here in the ink, not the flesh. Get what I did there? And interesting enough, it looks like we are behind Cage, and behind Cage. Looks like we're behind a cage. And also you guys can see the brand new cursor. It just looks like an arrow. Maybe that's just a beta one. Maybe they're going to change it up. But it's definitely different from Bendy the Dark Revival and also Bendy and Ink Machine. But if you go look at the bottom, you guys can see it's the exact same axe that we eventually actually get in the game. So this could be the beginning sequence of someone broke out Sammy, and then Sammy's here to break, us out. Then after that, he gives us an axe, and that's how we usually get the axe. Or maybe we broke out earlier with the pipe, and then we get captured, and Sammy Lawrence, comes and helps us, since maybe we break him out early on and he goes on his own path. I'm just trying to understand how this actually happening. Or maybe this is a point of view how Sammy's in the cage and he's locked up in there, and maybe you throw him an axe, or maybe his axe was just there, then he decides to give it to you to help break him out. I really do hope that Sammy Lawrence would be like teaming with you and you guys could do some dual fighting like Bendy and the Ink Machine with Audrey and Boris, or Tom, my bad. But it's definitely really interesting to see Sammy Lawrence just here chilling. His mask looks a lot more faded and a lot more withered than he did in Bendy and Ink Machine. We didn't get to see his face or mask in Dark Revival, so it definitely makes more sense for it to be more withered and destroyed. Well, actually, we did get to see him, but it was like really small and really high up during the last final battle. But yes, another interesting image with amazing lighting and graphics. Now, this is the last and another very interesting photo. It's really interesting in many different ways, because you guys can see it's just another one of those prison areas. It looks like the first one. As you guys can see, the whole entire game is going to have that same aesthetic, so it definitely doesn't look like hand-drawn animation. Maybe they just haven't done all the textures in right, but it definitely has a different type of texture and feel to it, since it's, the whole prison. But as you guys can see here, you can see Henry's hand, since we never actually got to see Henry's hand. And of course, we want to point out how Henry has a ring on his hand. Of course, showing that we already knew that I think Henry had a loving family. So of course, that's most likely his wife's ring. You can also see his hand for the very first time holding up the axe. Looks like this is some type of kill animation like Audrey does with the banish animation. So this looks like this one is just ready to go and, kill this ink searcher. Wanderer, Lost One. I don't know what you call this new one. The interesting part about this new enemy type is that it has no mask on it. It looks a little bit like the first two enemies that we saw in the first two photos, but this one has some type of like the same red texture all over his body, but he doesn't have the mask on, and his nose looks like it's still there, but it doesn't look like it's like bleeding through. He has red, yellowish, glowing eyes, and it looks like we're doing a sneak attack and he just catches us. So either this could be a death animation, or this could be a sneak attack kill animation, or just a sneak. I don't know what type this actually could be, but it's definitely Henry holding the axe and about to go and attack this man. But sadly, that's it for all 5 of the images. They sadly didn't add the actual trailer, the teaser that we got a while ago, but it's definitely crazy to see that Bendy and the Cage is coming out in 2024. It's just crazy to see that. This year is definitely gonna be crazy, unless it released like really early. I do feel like it's gonna be a late 2024 release, but who knows. I definitely do think the game would be 1 to 2 to maybe 3 hours maximum, but right now only time will be able to tell. You guys can let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe, because it really helps me out, but if you don't want to, that's totally fine. I won't annoy you anymore about that. And yes, as you guys can see, we already know that this game's gonna be, horror. It says the tags here is action, adventure, FPS, cartoony, first person, hand-drawn, atmosphere, horror, combat, controller, story-rich, and single player. So yep, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about the brand new Steam page, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Goodbye. Don't forget to check out my video reacting to the actual trailer, because it's insane.